So let's move on to the next one. Let's just dating in 2025. Let's try that. All right. First video. Dating in 2025. If you're on TikTok, of course, you can follow along by just typing in the word in the search dating 2025. And I'm just going to play the first video that pops up and just go from there.
Remember when I said that dating in 2025 is weird? Okay, yeah, I promised y'all a story time, so here it is. So let me tell y'all how about 10 years ago, I was talking to this guy that I used to work with. And we were talking for a little bit. I know we went out to eat a couple times. I think we were supposed to even go on a vacation, but we didn't. And I really cannot remember why we stopped talking or what happened, whatever. But I know that I was talking to him shortly before I met my man who I built a family with. So anyway, this guy appears in my Instagram DMs 10 years later. Now, last I heard about him, he was like married and moved and all that. Like, cool, good for you. But he just appeared into like my DMs, and I was just like, oh, like, hey, how you been? You know, and I told him, like, the last I heard you were like married and you moved. And he's like, well, I'm divorced now and I moved back. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, well, can I take you out to eat? Can I take you on a date? And I kind of like ignored his first question, I guess, because I was just like into the conversation. So then he asked me again. He's like, well, can I just take you out to eat as a friend? And I said, oh, yeah, sure. Why not? So then we start trying to plan when we're going to go out to eat. And I tell him, like, I'm a single mom, so I can only go out, like, I need to get a babysitter. Like, I can't just get up and go. Like, I got to plan it. I need a babysitter. So I was just about to go on vacation. So I was like, I can't do it this weekend or next weekend, but maybe like mid-September. Like, give us some time where I could plan a sitter and we could go mid-September. And he goes, okay, cool. Then he starts asking me, like, well, where do you want to go eat? Do you want me to pick you up? Do you want to meet there? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, when that time comes, like, we'll cross that bridge. But like right now, like, I don't know. So then he starts sending me messages like, well, do you have your passport? And I'm like,
Okay, let me just stop it right there. Only because from what I'm hearing, this is more of a personal experience dealing with a particular type of man that she used to be in a somewhat relationship with. So it's about 6 minutes, so I didn't want to go through the whole thing. I'll say, and now she's a mom, and now this other person was married, but now they're divorced. So that's a complicated relationship that was probably sounds like a situationship that became something but didn't for one reason or another. I'm pretty sure it had to be an argument that both of them just decided to walk away from, or one ghosted the other, and one fell out of interest with the other, and then now here we are 10 years later. Um, you get a notification that somebody you knew or somebody you knew is on your, Instagram, or you should follow them or something like that, or however that goes. But it sounds like they were together for a minute. They both found someone else to be with. She found someone else, so did he. Now they're talking again, and now they're making plans to go to dinner. So he's divorced. She still, I guess, is with with the same guy that she built the family with. I'm not sure. She'll probably explain that later on in the video, but I didn't want to, put you guys through that. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in from what I see already, and I didn't want to like get too long into that, only because whatever. I'm not sure what the streaming rules are or how to approach or what have you. I just wanted to try and get some shorter videos so I can have some immediate feedback on what's going on. Let's see. Why does dating feel almost impossible in 2020? Let's see.
So why does dating feel almost impossible for men in 2025?
Dating feels almost impossible for a lot of men in 2025 because, you look at the average guy. The average guy isn't getting matches on dating apps. He's not getting stopped or, getting a lot of affection from women in his daily life. He probably doesn't have a whole lot of friends. And so he's online and he's seeing all of these gorgeous women, some of whom aren't even real with AI now. There's a lot of AI girls out there, edited photos and stuff like that. And they're just suffering this constant barrage of them feeling inadequate by what their life experience is teaching them versus what they're seeing online, which is like a lot of, attractive women or couples or stuff like that. So they just kind of feel beaten down by it, you know, and it really does suck being the average guy who isn't taking control of their life in today's day and age. There's absolutely no sympathy for them. But the good news is that if you do choose to rise above this and do choose to actually start bettering yourself and start doing the things that is going to give you a result with women, then it can be possible to be successful. And the bar is pretty low because most guys don't try. Most guys just, you know, wallow in self-pity, and they take themselves out of the dating market because they think that it's not worth it for them. But in reality, I don't care who I'm talking to. If you're watching this, like, you absolutely can change your circumstance.
So
Okay, so that was about a good minute of a back and forth about dating in 2025 and then how men feel, or average men feel in 2025. And I can relate to that. There's so 20 years ago in 2005, I worked at a call center doing technical support for an internet service provider, of course, right? So I made pretty mediocre money. I made money that was barely enough to get by. So I put in a lot of overtime at work because people would give up their shifts, hours, and I would suck them all up and work overtime, 40 plus hours, especially on weekends. So I had a lot of money back then to throw around, like an extra 500 or something like that. So I would be able, my friend and I would be able to go to bars. We went out. The life and the lifestyle back then was different. We went out seven. Was it not? No, was it seven? Yeah, we got up to maybe 5 days a week. We had a place to go every single day of the week, and the weekends we would have dedicated bars and clubs to go to, in order to kind of for the music and the ladies and drinks and all that. We went to a pool house on Mondays. Tuesdays, I believe, was this place called Roxy's. Wednesdays was Graham Central Station when we had it here in San Antonio, Texas, because it's like ladies' night there. Thursdays we went to the Coast. There's this bar called the Coast, and on Thursday nights they had dollar drinks, so dollar specials or whatever. So it was like, we called it Dollar Make You Holla. So it's the Coast on Thursdays, and on Fridays was it was going to be a new bar that we hadn't tried. It was going to be we're going around to different bars and find out if there's a good spot to go here, here, here. And then Saturdays we would go to this place called the Falls. It was a nice venue, live bands, DJ in the back, outside patio, things like that. And on Sundays, we would go to this place called Joe's Volcano. And it was a younger crowd because it was 18 years and up that can go there. But we went there strictly for pretty much, it's Sunday, there's nothing to do, but this place is open, it plays some good 80s, so we'll go and chill out in there. So we had a place to go every single night, day of the week. So we would approach women like every single night we went out. So yeah, we were muscular men when it came to dating. Like we weren't players, but we were yeah, let me take that back. We were players. We were players in a different game. We were. We took initiative. We bought drinks. We would sometimes be in competition with each other to make sure that we were the ones buying the drinks. Like, nah, man, it's on me. Okay, all right. We're like, okay, you know what? So we decided that instead of to cut the argument of who's going to be buying these girls drinks, we would take turns. First person that we bought drinks for, and if it's on my tab, then he gets the next set of girls or the next round on his tab, and we would just bounce back and forth like that. We had game plans as to how we would kind of like, show off our kind of baller status, even though we were ballers, but you get the idea. But yeah, it was a different type of game 20 years ago than it is now. So approaching like 5 women like is almost, as a single guy, is almost kind of unheard of these days. Hell, men are approaching women right now, right? But yeah, I could be. I mean, let's just say I'm working that same job. I got that same kind of money. The confidence would be there, but the lines, all my lines still work. I mean, some lines that you come up with when you're dating and when you're out there is timeless. But yeah, the initial approach, the initial walk up, the initial, hey ladies, what's going on? Just, well, that, and I do voice stuff too. So I can do cheap impressions, and that kind of works as an in for a conversation to drop in on a random conversation. But anyway, enough of me ranting again. Let's go to another kind of thing. Let's see what we got.
Okay, so I'd like to switch the narrative because most of you are agreeing with my dating in 2025 and what it's like. However, flipping the narrative, men, tell me how awful women are in 2025 in dating. And I want to hear like the good stories. Don't disappoint me.
Okay. I don't think it's a matter of women being kind of quote unquote awful. Like the behavior is more intolerable. But I don't know if that has anything to do with making an overall judgment of saying they're so just god awful. No, women can change. They can become better people, just like men can. I just think that it's going to take some introspection from both genders to understand what they really want and how to really get it, and how you're going to go about trying to pursue it. There's no real proper way to approach. There isn't. There's just what you've got. Men who find women very attractive find themselves stuttering or not able to finish or make coherent thoughts. I'm not sure if you, as a woman, if you've ever experienced it, but sometimes you're so like jaw-droppingly gorgeous, men just stutter and can't even think straight. That actually does happen. That is a phenomenon that does occur in nature. Like I say a lot of smart things. I know a lot of technological terms. I know a lot of stuff. But when it comes to that woman who's just like in your face and she's just the most attractive thing you've ever seen, it's hard to put a sentence together. So there's that dynamic, but not every woman is like that. So let's not get that twisted. But yeah, I wouldn't say women are awful. I just think that they can be a lot more graceful when dealing with men, meaning no thank you, or I got a man, or whatever excuse that you want to use to not deal or talk to the man you want to not deal or talk with. The disrespect and the shaming and the humiliation is something that every man can live without. I think that if we start seeing more random, I think that we need to make videos. I don't know who's going to make them. I'm not I guess I am, but I don't have that kind of thing where I can take my camera and start making videos with people, and I don't have that kind of thing, but if someone does have that kind of thing to where they like to make videos, or random videos, I would start to release videos of just someone being kind and respectful, and having dialogue with random women and seeing how the interaction goes. And then we can kind of gauge for ourselves whether or not women have this grace or if they're um, all about just, naming and shaming men who try to approach them. And that's kind of what is going to be our barometer as when it's safe for men to go out and start speaking to women again, or randomly again. So enough of me rambling again. Let's see what else we got here. Dating in 2025. Okay, let's see this one.
I was FaceTiming a man, I know, gross, last night. A man that's trying to court me, if you will. And he said something about how he wanted to get a laundry service. He was like, I think I'm going to get a laundry service to start doing my laundry for me. It's like $200 a month. They'll pick it up, drop it off, folded, all that shit. And I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. I was like, that's one thing I could do. It would be like hire a cleaning person, hire someone to do my laundry because I don't want to do that shit. And he goes, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, so you're not domesticated like that? Bitch, can you build a fucking house? I'm sorry, I'm not domesticated like that because I don't want to do your fucking laundry. I don't want to do my own laundry. Why would I do yours?
I don't know why, but I feel like she really misinterpreted a joke. That sounds more like a joke to me. That sounds more like him poking, oh, you're not domesticated like that. You don't enjoy doing laundry. It sounds more like he's playing with her. He's just playing with her. That's kind of what I got from that. And I think she took personal offense, read into that, it's a judgment, but it wasn't a judgment. I think he's just more playing with her, trying to get a laugh or trying to get a response. But yeah, he was totally fucking with you. That's what it sounds like. I mean, but he took it the way he took it, and he gave it the way he gave it. But yeah, it sounds like he was just fucking with it. But I mean, anyway, let's see. Right next to that one, let's try that.
If they wanted to, they would. Except that's not necessarily true, is it? Because there are a lot of reasons why people don't. Fear of rejection, vulnerability, insecurity. And these are all issues I feel like that could be worked through with simple communication. People are so afraid of being vulnerable these days because somebody from the past has burnt them. And instead of working through these issues that they developed from being burnt, they stumble through life projecting on these issues onto other people and creating these dysfunctional relationships with other people. And I genuinely believe that's why I have such a hard time accepting no response as a response at times, is because there's a reason, and I want to get to the bottom of it, and I want to work through it because I've been there. But people are just too afraid of simple communication, which ultimately leads to this fear of commitment, is what it all boils down to. It's a hard time to date in 2025.
Okay, so she's talking about venting her frustrations and how hard it is and tricky it is to date in 2025 because people are, fearing commitment and fearing rejection and all that. A lot of fear running around, right? Taking chances is the most risk behavior. I guess it's a risk analysis, right? It's a risk assessment. But when it comes to relationships, they happen naturally. They happen between two people who like each other. but it all starts with an initial look or gaze or recognition. Either she sees him or he sees her, but what happens after that is they start to see each other. When two people see each other, they want to pursue something. There's something there, they both feel it, you can't explain it, but it's there and it needs to be, explored, whether or not it can work or not. But that spark between two people, I don't hear it coming out of this woman's mouth. Not saying that I'm judging her, but what I'm hearing is the lack of experience in the simplicity of just being attracted, genuinely being attracted to someone, or someone being genuinely attracted to her, and her exploring that and taking it further to see where it can go. I don't what I'm hearing, it's not what I'm hearing, it's what I'm not hearing. I am not hearing some of the women who are posting talk about the initial spark that they felt with someone and how they had butterflies and how they talk on the phone for hours with this one person, getting to know them like like I grew up with. Like yeah, I'm comparing myself because I'm 40 and I'm old and I'm crusty, but talking on the phone to someone is the second most intimate way of communicating after in person. So we disconnected so much to where we're not even talking to people, we're texting them. And texting is about as disconnected as you can get because you cannot express yourself through selected text on a digital keyboard better than you could on a phone in the inflection and sound of your voice. So when you're talking to somebody, it either needs to be in person or over the phone in order to get a more deeper level of understanding of who it is you're dealing with and whether or not you want to pursue something. So there isn't, even over the phone, you can have a spark or you can have some sort of sensation to where you really feel where this person's coming from and you want to like dig deeper and know more. But what I'm hearing is that you're coping with the disconnect, the social disconnect that you want to pursue, but for some reason or another, you're afraid of what may or may not happen. And that's a part of taking that risk. Like some bad things may happen, but before bad things happen, a lot of good things happen along the way. So that's the things that you want to pursue and get used to. That's the real reason people want to be in a relationship, because it is a good experience. So for however long it lasts. Let's see. Let's go on to next. Let's see what else we got.